a show like this, a game show, a dating show, a cooking show, whatever show. There's all kinds of shows, and I'm sure that there's got to be one that you want to get on. You can reach out to Jay, and also the Beard Raider. She is on here and she does help us out a lot too, finding guests and stuff. So make sure that you guys look up the Beard Raider, favorite emoji Jay, and check them out, guys. They're, like I said, both good admins for shows. You can also reach out to me if you are interested in being on this show, and we can get you set up. I do have a spot next week for sure. So if you're looking to be on a show, let me know. We'll get you on there. And we are now going to do the Q and Q after I take another sip. Oh my God. Okay, really quick lesson learned. Pistachio coffee creamer. Wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. Love it. It's so good. It's like I'm eating. You guys ever had like a pistachio cookie or like pistachio cake, but it's like in a coffee? Again, guys, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the favorites. And thank you for being here. I'm going to read you the quote if I can find it. And then I'm going to ask y'all a question. And I want you guys to answer it in the comments, okay? So it says, to be nobody, and listen closely, to be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day to make you everything else means to fight the hardest battle which any human can fight and never stop fighting. I'm going to read that one more time. To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day to make you everybody else means to fight the hardest battle which any human can fight and never stop fighting. It's by E.E. Cummins. And the question is, what would you describe as your biggest struggle in life? And I had to stop and think about this one for a minute, and it might get a little deep. I'm going to try to keep it kind of vague, but you guys know that I like to hit this stuff pretty hard. Anxiety, that's a good one too. I think that anxiety is part of mine. But I think that my biggest struggle was that for years, everybody had to like me. Okay. I couldn't understand how anybody could not like me, because even growing up, I know I was a nice kid. I was respectful. Like, I didn't understand, right? Why don't people like me? And the hardest struggle was that when people don't like me, for me to realize, for me to learn, was that it's not me. It's a reflection of themselves. They see something in me that they don't like in themselves. And instead of facing it, dealing with it, they mirror the image, they look at me and go, okay, like let's say I'm a little overweight. Okay. So people will poke fun at my weight. Maybe people don't like my nose. They'll poke fun at my nose or my teeth or whatever it is that somebody sees in themselves that they don't like. They're going to insult me because I'm kind of using, thank you, Brittany, like an overall, like I know by no means am I some gross specimen walking this earth, like when people look at me. But at the same time, there are people that think that. But let's remember that I also look at some people, and my judge on you is not based on like your physical appearance, but I'm going to give you an example so you don't think that I'm like ridiculous. I work in a restaurant, okay? Love my job. I'm a server. I make good money. But if you chew with your mouth open and talk to me with food in your mouth, you are one of the most repulsive people on the face of this godforsaken planet. I can't do it. I can't stand it. I can't tolerate it. I think it's disgusting. So for me, what is that? So I totally lost my train of thought. But I'm going to read this again. I don't know. And then I'm going to ask you the question, and I do want you guys to answer it in the comments, okay? So it says, to be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day to make you everybody else means to fight the hardest battle which any human can fight and never stop fighting. What would you describe as your biggest struggle in life? So back onto track. Let's fast forward that a little bit. I think that for me, my hardest struggle in life was accepting myself, was understanding that not everybody's going to like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay because not everybody is my cup of tea. There's a lot of people that I'll tell you what, maybe you're good people, maybe you do good things, but I for whatever reason, you're not my kind of people, right? And that's okay. But like I tell people, you have to understand, and I use this example quite frequently because it's just the one that makes the most sense, right? If you're going to learn to play chess, I'm not going to find you on a football field. And if you're trying to learn football, I'm not going to see you at a chessboard. Now, I might see you at a chessboard on a Sunday afternoon playing with your grandpa. Okay. I'm not saying you're not going to play chess as a football player. But if you're learning to play football and that's what your goal is and you want to be this, you need to hang out with people who already know how to do what you do, right? So it was accepting that not everybody's going to like me, accepting that I'm not going to like everybody, and understanding that I am who I am. And if you don't like it, you can look the other way. Rambo, I love you. Don't kick Rambo. Don't kick him, guys. Don't. I mean, look, we all have to discuss this in an hour, Rambo. Come back. Guys, welcome to my featured show. This is Lessons Learned. I am Silly Lily, and I am about to introduce Carla to you in just a minute. We did just get done asking, what would you describe as your biggest struggle in life? And I think mine was acceptance, accepting me for who I am, accepting you for who you are, and understanding that, welcome, mister, and understanding that it's okay to be different, and it's okay, you know, like, here, small thing before I get you in the box, Carla. Go ahead and request that box, baby, so I can see you flashing down there. My daughter is obsessed with not the Comic Con, the Colossal Con. Is that with the anime? The Colossal Con? So I am like literally invested in learning what this stuff is, where they are, how to do all these things. Emily, remember, please. Okay, just remember. So I'm trying to find one because this is something she's really into. She loves her anime. I don't know a damn thing about it, but I know that for her, that's where she's going to find her people. So for Christmas, I want to get her one of like I want to get her a memory. Like, yes, I could go out and buy her a phone, or I could buy her this, or I could do all these things, but I want to take her to one of these events so that she can see that there's other people who truly do what she does in a quantity, and she knows she's not alone, and she knows it's okay to do and to be who she wants to be. It is okay to wear your anime shirts, and if you want to for Halloween or for whatever other weekend, just because you want to wear an anime costume, I don't give a crap. Be you, because when you're being you, you're going to find your tribe, right? You can't find your people if you're hiding in your room pretending to be something you're not. Okay, you can't make the football team if you're sitting at the chess table. Okay, you're not going to do it. So you guys remember, and the biggest thing, I guess, in my whole thing with this whole Q&Q that I did today was my biggest struggle was realizing it's okay to be me, and it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, but don't kick just because they're annoying. Kick because they get mean, guys. Like, we have to remember, yes, certain people are annoying, but that is actually that just they have to be vulgar. That's okay. They have to be vulgar. Some people are going to try to be funny. Some people are going to say things, and that's okay. You want the comments to go, so sometimes we'll tolerate a little bit, but nothing if they're attacking. But it's okay. You know, during this show, I'd rather you kick than not. But just because they're annoying doesn't mean we want to kick them. Because if I did that, a lot of people wouldn't be in here because I get annoyed really easily sometimes. You know, right? Like T would never be here if I kicked him because he annoyed me. All right. I'm just kidding. I love tea. You guys can see the people I'm going to pick on most are red, and they are red because they tolerate me. I tolerate them, and I love them, and they love me. And they've been around for a while. So, all right, Carla, kind of going in, I think this is going to be a good lead into what we're going to talk about, guys. Again, be all ears, be kind, be respectful, and here we go. All right, Carla. I was told Carla has a heavy accent. So, hello. How are you, darling?
I am a little bit sick, but I am here.
There you go. There you go. Well, I'm really glad that you're here. I do appreciate you for coming
Yeah.
on. And I'm going to start off with asking you to let these guys know what are you going to be talking about today? A little bit into your topic, honey.
I will be going into a little bit of detail about that. The lesson I'm going to be talking about is bullying/trolling.
Okay. Now, have you been a victim of the bullying and the trolling?
Yes,
And let's be straight up front. It sucks, doesn't it?
yes,
It's hard. It is really hard to
yeah.
handle bullies and trolls. Carla, what is your approach? What is your thought behind people who troll?
Um, that if you can't dish it out, don't take it.
Okay. I think that Carla, something I want to tell you, and I want you to hear me loud and clear on this. Hurt people try to hurt people.
Yes,
Happy people don't do that. So when
yes,
I get trolls over here, if I'm in a mood, I am a woman. I do get feisty. I do sometimes like to troll back. I know I like her accent too. But I want you to hear me loud and clear that no person who is
yes,
happy is going to go around and try to make anybody feel less because they want to make themselves feel more. A strong person, a happy person is going to fix what they have on the inside. They're not going to go and be like, oh my God, you're this and you're that, because a troll is somebody who wants to bring you down.
yes,
They see that you're happy. They see that you're living a life they want to live. So they don't like it. And
yes,
instead of doing the right thing and working towards what they should change, they're just going to go, oh my God, you, and blah, 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 and try to make you lessen and dull your light. Like I tell people, my light shines bright, and it might be really bright, and some of y'all might have to look away, but I will never dull my light for anybody, ever,
exactly. Amen.
ever. So what's one of your approaches when you get a troll in your
Um,
stream?
I've got actually three approaches. So the first one is be myself, never be intimidated and making hurtful comments.
Okay. I like that.
Um,
I like that.
and I'll go into more detail of that because people want to be meaning getting my pronouns wrong because I am going through the transgender process.
Okay.
And I correct them on that. And I deal with that every day due to the transition I'm going through. But because I've also been on the app a long time, people are starting to get the gist.
I think people are afraid of what's different, and they feel like because it's not something they understand that you shouldn't feel it too. Um and I think that you guys, that is, by the way, if you're one of those people, that is so beyond exhausting. That is an exhausting way to live. Judging people because they're different than you. Do you not realize we're all freaking different in one way or another? We all have
Exactly.
something about us someone else may or may not understand. Hello? Like, it could be something as simple as I eat something you don't eat, like mayonnaise and ketchup on my fries. Most people think that's the ew, and I get judged because I put mayonnaise and ketchup on my fries. Again, I'm trying to keep it simple and not super. See, see, but but I do really like that you started off with you stay yourself and you be
Yes.
true to yourself. Um,
And
and I like that you're able to understand that you are going through something that people
yes,
might not understand and people might not get because they don't know. But also, like you said, it's not okay, like it's just because it's different doesn't mean y'all can point it out. If you have questions or you're trying to understand, or like I have questions, I have genuine questions. not anything insulting or anything, but I'll ask those questions to people that I get to know, not because I want to like start trouble, but because sometimes I'm genuinely curious, like, how does this work, or how did that happen, or how did you do this, you know, like with your transition. There's lots, I don't know much about that, but I know that it happens. I know that that's who you want to be, and that's what's going to make you happy, so I accept it. And it's that easy. Just because I don't understand it or it's not something that I like doesn't mean I can't just accept it.
And a lot of my people will be able to tell you that are currently in here that I am the most openest person on the app.
Good. I tend to be a little overly open, I think, over on my end. But I tell people my whole point for streaming is to normalize. It's okay to not always be okay. And that life is full of ups and downs, and that whole picture perfect BS on IG that you see with their people's lives, and they're all always on vacation in the perfect pictures with their hair's man, that ain't real life. That ain't real life. All right, what's another approach? What is something else that you're able to do exactly?
When certain situations arise where people are saying things that are concerning, I let it go in one ear and out the other.
Yep. And just, okay, heard you. Doesn't matter. Bye. You know. Sometimes that's hard though, Carla. Don't you agree? Like sometimes it's really hard to just, like, I'll see things down here sometimes during my show. Oh, and it is so hard not to say something or to respond, but also I know that that's what they want from me. They want me to go, who do you think you are? Why are you talking? Because they get that reaction. They get the rise, right? But the problem with that, and tell me if I'm wrong, Carla, but have you noticed, if you give them that little bit, they keep coming back until eventually you explode, right? Like,
and I will also go in a bit of that second point, that I avoid streams that trolls are in and observe to see the atmosphere of how people act and roll in their general day-to-day lives while on stream. And the way I have done that is I have learned from the best trolls on the app.
Yeah. You're running it right. Yeah, Danny, me too. Me too. Rambo's a little like that down there too, huh? No. So, if you could go back, Carla, and tell your like 18-year-old self anything in life, I like to ask this question kind of related to this topic. What would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
Not much, because I'm only 19.
Oh, you're still a baby. Okay, what you're still a baby.
If you had to say, go back 10 years and tell your younger self, I would say that do not let people's words get to you, because it's only words at the end of the day.
I like that, Carla. So is there anything else that you wanted to add to this topic before I ask you a couple of easier questions just about you and your streaming? No? All right. So if you guys are just tuning in, this is Carla. I am Silly Lily, and you guys are watching Lessons Learned. And we are just talking about dealing with trolls, bullies, and like kind of how you can handle it. And more or less, I kind of went into my like, please understand that trolls and people who go around being bullies are hurt people. Like at the end of the day, there's not one nice person going around trying to bully another, right? We just don't have time. We don't do it. We're too focused on the things that we have to fix and the things that are going to make us happy, right? So that's a good one too, Queen Lala. I like that too. All right, so Carla, when do you stream and what are your streams like? What can we find going on?
At the moment, it's very few times that I'm streaming because of personal things going on at the moment.
Okay. So randomly, what are your streams like? Do you got music in the background? Do you play games?
I usually just put music on in the background. I'm starting to go into the singing career, but I also play video games in the background as well.
Okay, nice. And do you have any other featured shows or any other events going on?
I do have an event coming up in November.
And what is that event?
A second auction.
Okay. What's the auction like? What kind of auction?
It is an emo auction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
And yes, kind of, Fred, but the auction is going to show me as a real person of how far out of my comfort zone I really am.
Okay. Keep you guys make sure during the featured show right now we can't because we didn't schedule it in, but if Carla wants to come back, share another thing, we can always include something. But unfortunately, Carla's time is about up. You guys, make sure you guys favor Carla. Carla, you were amazing. I know you were nervous, but I will tell you, yes, you did awesome.
Thank you.
You did awesome. So I will let you go. You can go ahead and exit the box. And I appreciate you guys. Make sure you favorited Carla. Check her out. That was a great topic. And y'all, I will tell you, she was super adorably nervous. And I had to give her the little Lily pep talk, like, just get in the box. The rest will flow. Like, it'll be okay. I got you. I was told, and that's why I just wanted her to go first, get it over with so that we could we could get past that nerve. And now Carla knows what it's like, and maybe we'll get her back. Maybe she'll broaden her horizon, get on some other shows. But you guys, it's not easy to get on my show and to talk about something that has hurt you. And that's ultimately what every one of my guests has to do. They have to get on this show, tell you something that hurt them. So what you have to understand is if there are trolls trolling, they're listening to what we're saying and they're looking for something, especially to come at me. But they learn really quick, especially as of late. Like, I don't have time for your nonsense. And I finally don't care. And I'll tell you, it's a good feeling. But I do care sometimes just because I am a woman and certain things like really get to me and make me emotional. But also that's perimenopause because my hormones are wackadoodle. They are all over the ever-loving place, and there's not a dang thing I can do about it. First, they're talking cortisol, then they're like vitamin D deficiency, and then they're like this, and they're like that. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to be moody on the days I want to be moody because that's what my body needs. So I am done. I'll take my vitamins, but past that, it's my age. It's my things. They're breaking down. And you know what? I'm going to be real honest with you. The sooner it goes away, the better off I'll be anyways. I am tired of that. I am tired of Aunt Flo's visits. that broad can just... Hello, everybody. Hello. I mean, seriously, man. And I don't know about some of y'all. Sorry for the guys listening. I know this isn't a really super awesome topic, but like it is getting worse between the cramps and the hormones. And that 1 minute I'm here and life is great and I'm so happy. And 5 seconds later, I'm like, I just don't even know why I'm crying. And like, I'm having a full-blown breakdown and I don't know why. I have no... and while I'm crying, I'm going, I don't need to be doing this. This is stupid. Why are you crying? I don't need that. Stop it. Calm down. It's okay. You know what? Like, but I'm just for no reason. I'm watching, y'all, I be watching home improvement shows or some NCIS, right? And I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, it's NCIS. Clearly, it's a crime scene investigation. So clearly, why are you crying, Lily? But I'm not pregnant. It's just my body being old. It's like you're getting old. So this is your transition before you can be officially cool. right? Like you're down here in the like, the younger years and you're learning and you're accepting. And then you go through that whole phase. I feel like that we do this because we gotta get to that point where we really truly just don't give a crap. And that's why you see that us older women walking around with purple hair or blue or pink wearing goofy stuff, because you want to know what? At some point in our life, we probably wanted to do that and someone told us we couldn't. Guess what? We're gonna do it now. And you can't tell me no. All right, self-care, self-love. Other than what I just said and how you love yourself and the things that you're going through and acceptance, and it's okay. You know what I mean? It is okay. But I really feel like my biggest part of this whole spiel today is just acceptance, self-care, self-love, and learning that it's okay to be you. It's okay to, and it's okay to not always be okay. But sometimes you have to feel it, process it, and move on. Right? Because if you don't, hi guys, welcome. Because if you don't move on, you don't shelf it or whatever you want to, however you want to say it, and you just keep holding on to the things that make you angry, your life is going to be filled with a lot of negativity. Negativity breeds negativity, and positivity breeds positivity. If you're a positive person, if you're that kind of person that walks around, wakes up, today's gonna suck, and your bitch, I almost said it. You're itching and moaning all day, and you walk into work, and today's gonna blow, and I can't even be here, and this is stupid, and people are stupid, and guess what? You're gonna have a stupid night. You've already told yourself that you're gonna have a miserable night. You've already set yourself up for the evening because you've already got it instilled in your brain that it's going to be a crapshoot. Something else too. Here's a self-care thing, kind of, right? So like y'all know how we get anxious and we get nervous before events. I think that something we need to understand is that we don't have to tell ourselves that we're nervous or that we're anxious. We need to tell ourselves that we're excited. I've been trying this. Like before my shows, I used to get so nervous before all my shows, before all these events. Y'all remember? Now I'm like, nope, I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm not anxious. I'm excited. And it's helped a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. At my age, it's hard to constantly stay into that line of thought, and yes, I do not always do the things that I'm telling you guys to do. But again, guys, remember, these are my own personal things. I am not a professional. And we are just simply folks that have been through some stuff, and we're willing to share what we've been through in hopes that it helps at least one other person, right? Okay, self-care, self-love tips. Drink your water. I'll shout this from the dang mountaintop. Drink your water. Of course, coffee first, okay? Coffee first. Mwah. But yep. After this, I will drink this. I will drink about 2 of these a day on average. I think it's 40 ounces. I don't know. But I found that having the right amount of water in my body and drinking water, it gives me more energy than just the coffee. Like if I wake up and have a big, huge glass of water, I already feel better. I'm now kind of drinking coffee out of habit and to prevent the headache, and because it's better than Coke. Okay, depending on where you're at, I know where I'm at. Winter's fast approaching. The leaves are changing. So get your booties outside and enjoy some of this beautiful weather before it's all gone. Get outside and enjoy some of the beautiful weather before it's all gone. unless you're one of those crazy people that likes the snow. I don't like the snow. I don't like being cold. So yeah, I'm not a fan of winter. Done it. This will be my 43rd winter, and I don't like it any better than the first. I'm sorry, but I don't know why my family had to pick a state to live in where it hurts to breathe. New York ain't any better. Go outside barefoot, y'all. Go ground. Look up what grounding is. Go outside barefoot. Put your feet in the grass or the sand, or even if you've got like a little pond or creek, go put your feet in the moving water. Stand there in the moving water for a few minutes in the silence. Close your eyes. Couple deep breaths. Listen to the bugs chirping. Listen to the water flowing. And I promise you, if you can do that for 5 to 10 minutes, you are going to feel better when you walk out the ocean. Any moving water. I know it sounds silly, guys, but these are all things that at some point in my life, someone else told me to try. And I, like many of you, was like, that sounds so stupid. Are you dumb? You think if I put my feet in water, I'm going to feel better? What kind of crazy lunatic are you? Get out of my face, right? And then one day I'm hiking, and I'm like, hey, look at that little creek. I'm going to go stand in it. And as I was standing there, I started thinking about the dude that was like, stand in the creek, let the water, And I did exactly what he said, and I closed my eyes, took a couple deep breaths, and I just stood there. Processed some thoughts, because of course you're sitting there by yourself, you're thinking, right? Whatever's bothering you, whatever's on your mind. Damn it, you guys. If I didn't feel amazing when I stepped out of that creek, because for the first time I had to sit in my silence. I had to really get into my own thoughts, my feelings, but for whatever reason, the water moving past my feet made it easier. I don't know why. It was probably in my head, but it did help. So I share it. What was the last thing? Says I have to watch out. I can't. But look, okay, we'll find a rock. Like I'll sit on the rock and put my feet in the water, and I'll sometimes sit there for an hour. Of course you open your eyes sometimes, but like, don't be afraid of a snake. Unless it's poisonous. It doesn't hurt too bad. It's like a skeeter. I think I'd rather be bit by some snakes than mosquitoes. But what was the last thing you did for yourself? I like to ask that question a lot too. What was the last thing you guys did for yourself? Getting your haircut today? Nice. Spa day? Nice. I'm craving some ink. Bad. But I called off all last weekend of work being sick, so my ink's gonna have to wait probably till after the damn holidays now. You almost oh no, Carla, I'm glad you made it. That's right, you went to the Ocean City. Right. Then the last thing that I did for myself, other than take off last weekend to feel better, which I didn't really have a choice, was going down and going deep sea fishing. That was probably one of the things that I knew I had to do, I needed to do. And even though it wasn't about me this time, it was about the kids. It was still just being out on the water. I don't know. That day is going to forever go down in history. Just the way that the waves were so choppy and the boat was flying. We were leaving our seats. I can definitely see most people hating this boat trip and being miserable and complaining. But like, this man was risking his boat himself to take us out there on a crap day because we were limited on time, last minute, because the other guy canceled. Like, it was just one of those days, right? And this guy, he even said, he said, y'all are crazy, but y'all are the perfect people for this kind of day. He goes, so many people get so upset when we go out on the water on these types of days and they're leaving their seats because they don't fully understand. All right, Danny, you ready? I'm gonna get you in. All right, let's go. Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome back. How are you, my dear?
Good. By the way, Wardle Radio.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, Danny. Let's dive in. What's our topic today, babe?
Patience and courage. Basically, like you were talking about in the beginning. Like me, I like wearing my Pepsi shorts, Coke shorts, whatever I can find, because one, they fit me right now, because my weight's fluctuating too much, and I just want people to take it from me, like, just if you feel like wearing a dress one day out, because I know with me in my transition, if I feel like wearing something out just in public, I'll go wear something like that probably out and about, or just if I feel like putting on a cosplay outfit with courage, just keep on going out. And then with the patience side, just trying to get people to learn patience with bodies changing, and just kind of just try to still be your true self.
So, we're patience and courage. Patience is something I don't have a lot of. It's definitely in limited supply. It is something I've had to really work on. Like, I call it IG syndrome. And as I got older, it got worse because of I blame the electronics, right? Like, you post a picture, how many likes can I get? Instant gratification, IG syndrome, instant gratification. I made it up. It's my own thing, y'all. But
Yep.
I think a lot of young people, they struggle with instant gratification, right? Like, they get these, you post these pictures and you get all this and that, but then in real life you don't get that, and then you struggle because it's not the same. And I think that was probably my biggest struggle when I got on here, right? Like, being patient with myself until I was okay with staring at myself. I'm sorry, y'all, but when you don't have someone in the box to talk to you and you got to just look at your own mug, that gets hard. Hours of staring at yourself when you didn't like how you looked because someone told you were ugly once, right? But then I had to realize, like, look at my jawline. Look, I got dimples, and then the more you look at yourself and you just accept, this is me, y'all, like it or leave it, bye, is eventually. But when I first started, I didn't have that. I wasn't able to do that because I was scared. So do you remember what it was like for you the first time that you really put on that courage? When we really went out there and you did your, when you did like your first, like with your transitioning, what did that take? How was that for you?
For me, with patience and courage, they kind of go hand in hand. So with me, I already had the courage to go out there because I actually tested the waters with my AA. I run one AA meeting a week.
Okay.
And I run one on Heal. So when I was doing like the actual physical, people are looking at me at once, and it's not like they were leaving a room or anything. I tested the waters with that. I started wearing little skirts, kilts, turned into skirts, turned into me upping myself to now, if I feel like it, I'll put on a full face makeup before I do my meetings, all the way down to what I'm wearing, and just go in there now. So it was that, testing the waters, because one, you're there in that room with other addicts,
Mhm.
And if they're not really for the program or for themselves, I knew they were going to say something. If they're actually there to get help or we need to help them, they need to understand that they already understand we're all different types, ethnicities, backgrounds, sexual orientation, all that. And that's really when it started with me walking around like I do.
Okay. I'm glad that you were able to, what's the word I'm looking for, to do the baby step process, right? Like you, and I say that because it's important that for some of you guys listening, you might not be comfortable. I don't know whether it's in Danny and Carla's situation, they're going through transitions, or maybe it could be something as, you know, you're afraid to try a new sport, or you're afraid to cook different dishes. Like there's so many things that people are afraid to try, and there's ways that you can take the baby steps. You know, like no football player goes, I want to play football, and they just say it, and then they're on a professional field. You take the baby steps. You have to learn. You have to practice, but more than anything, you have to stay true to yourself and what you want,
Mm-hmm.
because that's who you have to make happy. Y'all have to make yourself happy. You have to do the things that make you happy. Whether me, I don't understand why any human wants. Now, don't get me wrong. I like that they wear the tight pants and that they bash each other all over the field. I like to watch it, but I still do not understand why anybody wants to risk their brain to throw a ball around and get tackled and beat to hell every single Sunday and some Mondays and Thursdays. I don't understand it.
Ask the wrestlers that too, because they
Oh my
literally get
God.
paid to beat each other up.
That's a whole other thing too, right? But you guys, they took the baby steps to do it. And just because it's not something I would ever do doesn't mean that I have to bash. Oh my God, screw you, football players. You're just big, dumb jocks. Like that was the whole stereotype for years, right? But needless to say, one of our valedictorians was one of our football players, right? So just because you play football doesn't mean that they knocked all the sense out you.
Nope.
Now, I do understand some people have had some of their sense knocked out of them, and in which case we just,
Yep.
just ignore that.
It's also with me starting my transition. I started it technically about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Um, so I had to learn. I literally learned patience that way because I was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna start this up. I'm gonna go to therapy. They're gonna prescribe me everything." In my state, it's about 2 years of therapy, and I'm finally taking my injections next month.
Okay.
So it's literally of going to the doctors, going to therapy, talking about yourself for an hour every week, and just doing everything in order. So the state can look at you and be like, yes, this person was diagnosed properly before going about it.
I didn't know that you guys had to do the therapy like that, and I do think that's good, because I don't I don't I think that it takes a lot of courage and whatnot for someone to have to do the transition. I think you have to be past brave, in my opinion. Not that I have gone through it, but I know my friend's now daughter is my daughter's age, and is starting a transition ish, but she and I had talked. Um, my daughter had brought it up, kind of, sort of. So I looked into it, but I don't like that they let some of these kids, and I say kids because at 13, 14, that's not something that you should be deciding. Because I know at 13, 14, I was I was so confused. I didn't know up, down, left, right, straight, gay. I didn't know what I was. Turns out I'm bi, right? And I think more towards the women than the men, which is why I've been single for as long as I have, because I keep trying to date these guys and it's just not working. But I like both, right?
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to be able to say that out loud and not be ashamed of it. It took me a long time. So I like that there are the steps and the process, because for me, learning what they have to do and learning, if y'all fully go through this, what y'all have to do every day for the rest of your life to make sure that the things continue to be okay, that within itself is a lot.
But we don't have menopause, so that's a plus side.
Yeah, well, screw you, okay, Danny? God. I had no other response to that. All right. But you know what I mean, though?
Yes.
It is a lot. And I don't think that a lot of people fully understand that what you guys have to do to be who you want to be is a lot. And you and Carla both getting on here and being brave. And again, I'm clueless, but I'm smally sort of into it, you know. So for both of you to get on here and be like, nope, y'all, look, it's me. I love me or leave me, and that is it. And I love that about both of you.
Yeah.
So much.
And see, for me, courage and patience kind of go hand in hand, especially with my transition, with my alcoholism, with everything my mental health is going through right now. It's not instant gratification. I'm not going to be instantly fixed mentally. I have to kind of keep them kind of side by side or hand in hand, because without one, I don't have the other in my situation.
It's you're definitely on a journey, and it's not an easy one, but from what I've known of you, I've known you for a little while. You've got some pretty amazing supporters. Carla seems to have some pretty amazing supporters down there, and you guys know you got a friend of me over here all the time. So it's for me, it's just I enjoy having people who are not afraid to let people know, like, you know what, I might be different than you, but I'm still me, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
So.
And
Chucky, I've had a lot of people I noticed aren't faved anymore. I've had quite a few that I've been looking for and I didn't see them, and then I put the name in and I'm not following them anymore. Sorry. We'll come back to that in 2 minutes. So I guess I'll ask you this question too, because it kind of leads into some other things sometimes. If you could go back at 10 years, because Carla Dunn put me through the ringer with my tell your younger self, because she's still a baby. If you could go back 10 years and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
Well, first off, I'm not going to say my real age. Secondly,
22, right?
Secondly, I would say, honestly, I lived a pretty sheltered life. I really didn't start getting out there until I was college age, and actually finding myself. So it would be to try and live a little bit more when you leave home, and that you're not going to like everything you see out there in the world. But you're going to learn a lot, and learn a lot past 30, and just try to make sure every day you try to find one fact out. With me being sheltered, I didn't know anything about sexuality, racism, none of that. So learning something new every day and learning what's out there is what I strive to do. But if I would have learned it younger, would have helped me out a lot more going in college.
I think Booyah gave me the easiest yet most complicated answer I've ever been given. And he said, I would tell my younger self that it's going to be okay. It doesn't matter what you go through, it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to really stop and think about that. And I was like, that's so broad, but it does cover everything. And there's so many times in my life that I've lost out on adventures, or maybe friends, or of like relationships, because I allowed my fear to kind of control me, so it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. and this too shall pass, right?
Yes.
And that's what I'll have moments now, and I just hear Booyah. I didn't Booyah probably doesn't even know this, but I hear his words. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's going to be okay. This is gonna pass. It's gonna be okay. The night's almost over. Whatever the moment, like I'm at work having a bad night. I got stiffed. And they didn't tip me on $200, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna pass. It's gonna pass.
Mm-hmm.
I can't allow myself to stay focused and to stay in that negative head thought, because then the rest of my day is going to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hardest part for me, is flipping it, right? Like when I get in that moment, stop, no intrusive bad thoughts. And I get in that mirror and yell at myself, because no, it's going to be all right. Things are fine. Life can be hard, but it is for everybody. And then I'm like, yeah, you're right. You got this, Lily. You can do this, and I have to give myself these pep talks in the mirror at work, because sometimes people are really mean.
You do that at work. I'm at my job. I'm writing everything down, and then what I do is I don't everyone just watch what you do at your job first off before you do this. Make sure you can have a burn pit. I'll take those intrusive thoughts, write them down, and then I just burn them in the burn pit. I'll start a fire at my job, yes, and then I'll just throw them in the burn pit and then put it out after it's done about 5 minutes later.
So for some of you who work indoors, do not start a fire to burn your paper. Take it home. Safety first, guys. Safety first.
I'm a living caretaker, so we can go outside during the day. You guys, I don't know if anyone can leave their jobs, so don't. I am not going to be with any arson cases. I don't want to catch no arson cases. I was never associated with you. If it was said, if that thing happened,
you can't blame us for arsenal charges, right? All right, Danny, is there anything else you want to add to this topic before I just ask you a couple of the more generic about you questions?
One last thing is, everyone looks for instant gratification. The way I turned it off for me is I turned off all my notifications on social media. As I tell myself, I post what I post. If I wouldn't say it in real life, I'm not going to post about it on social media, because I will not read the comments. I will not look at it again. I will just let it go. And sometimes if I'm really into it or into that post, I will see how many times it was looked at or watched. But other than that, I just leave it alone. And it took down my instant gratification and helped me, honestly, a lot more, even on this app. So that's it.
I think, again, the one thing I want to point out, guys, and y'all, if you call me a liar, that's fine. I'll believe you. But I don't know anybody that doesn't like somebody. Now, that doesn't mean that just because I don't like so-and-so doesn't mean I have to be negative, doesn't mean I have to insult them. It doesn't mean that I have to interact at all. I can be cordial. I can be completely empathic and sympathize with things they're going through. But there's just certain people that, because they're negative and because they suck the energy right out of my soul, I can't hang around them. I have people at work that try to suck the energy right out of my soul. And it's okay. I'll tolerate them for a little bit. I'll work with them. We'll be kind. We'll be cordial. But they're not the person that I'm going to reach out to after work, right? They're not the person that I'm going to spend my personal time getting to know because of whatever reason. For me, it's mostly generally, okay, I'm not going to go to eat with you if you chew with your mouth open. I'm sorry. You get once. If you're gross at the dinner table, I'm over you. We're done. And we'll go for a walk in the park or for coffee next time. But I can't be around people who are just negative and constantly boo-hoo. Like, I got enough things going on in my life. Like, yes, I will listen to you. Yes, I will help you, but it is not my job to fix your problems. It is my job to listen once. I'll give you a little bit of advice from my end of it. You can vent for a little bit, get it all out, because I know sometimes people just have to talk their way through situations, right? But if you keep coming to me for like 6 months with the same problem and you ain't done a damn thing to fix it, I can no longer tolerate your bull crap. Because if you're not willing to help yourself, there's not a damn thing I could do for you either.
I give them a short amount of time, and then if it's on here and they keep on pushing after that short amount of time, because I'll try to distance myself from those people. But if it keeps on coming, guess what? You're gonna find yourself on a list you don't want to be on, because then we won't be in touch.
That's my crap list. That's my list for people I don't want to. All right, guys, look, I don't let anybody in my box that I don't know, first of all. And second of all, this is still a featured show. So my time is for Danny here. All right. When do you stream? What are your streams like? And do you have any other events or shows coming up?
Okay. So I do 3 shows on here a week. We have Addiction Hour on Monday. We have a new astrology show. We are starting up hopefully between the 27th and the start of the next month of October.
Okay.
And then it'll be every Tuesday. And then Pride's Rundown, which is just about activism.
Okay. Nice.
I usually stream. I usually stream every morning. You can call me cuckoo, crazy, whatever. I get up at 3 a.m. and I start my streams. And sometimes I will get off at 9, but then I'll be back on at like 11, 12.
You're nuts. 3 a.m.? You're nuts.
Well, I have to clock in at work at 2:50 in the morning.
Ugh.
And I have to meet with the other nurses that take care of my client while I sleep. So they go home at 3 a.m. So imagine leaving your job at 3 a.m. to go home. And I come on stream until they wake up.
Such a crap schedule, right? Like, ugh.
Hey.
I'd rather like the 11 to 7. I don't know. I don't even know. Ew. All right, guys, it is 11 o'clock. Jay, are you here to do the outro? Danny, thank you. I hope we get you on back again. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys' favorite Flirty Danny. Please check her out. Where are you at, Jay? See, he puts this thing on and then just forgets about us. He forgets he's supposed to do the outro, which is for him. Hi, King. Because I want people to be able to see. I had him put in there, like, you know, to promote himself, to reach out to him or whatever. Jay! Well, welcome, guys. All right, guys. Well, I guess let me change my picture back. It's after 11. No more featured show. Now I can say fuck. Y'all, it is so hard. There you are. Do you want to do your outro? All right. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to change my picture. And I got to go pee. I got to pee really bad. Oh.